All right. Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Spiritual Side of Virginia. So good to be united with all of you here today. We're going to start by reading a message from the book Coexistence by Emmanuel, the Spirit Emmanuel, through the hands of the medium Chico Xavier. The message is titled, On the Most Intimate Tracks. In addition to the beneficency that monetary resources can achieve, there is a beneficence that is within everyone's reach, which can blossom and bear fruit in the most intimate aspects of daily life, starting within one's own home. It is the word that is silent in the face of slander, or the optimistic word that nourishes good intentions, converting them into praiseworthy works. It is the kindness that is shown to one's neighbor in the cultivation of understanding and cordiality that spontaneously forgives the unfortunate gesture of a companion. It is the friendly thought that kindness expresses in favor of those in need of peace, or the prayer that is formulated in support of brothers who have fallen into trial and helplessness. It is the seemingly insignificant service that can be rendered to those who share our daily experiences, whether it be proving useful information or carrying a small burden. It is the generosity with which it will be fair for us to tolerate the thoughtfulness of this or that person, and the apology without complaint for the offenses received. For this benevolence, sometimes unnoticed in the turmoil of the world, valuable factors for the harmony of existence are born. Let us learn to tolerate each other without friction, with no hard feelings, and without lamentations. Let us recognize that someone's shortcomings, as well as the infirmity of certain companion, could be ours. And let us not forget that our beneficiary of today could be our benefactor of tomorrow. By placing our own feelings in our gestures, marking our pilgrimage with the seal of understanding and love, we will effectively be following the examples of the heavenly friend who helps us and assists us at each moment without us even realizing it.
Let us pray together. It's so precious to pray together, to practice this togetherness. Dear Mother, Father God, we feel your presence at each breath, giving us life, the life we cannot give to ourselves. We have no doubt that you exist. Our eyes cannot see you. Our hands cannot touch you. But we feel our deep connection with you. You are pure love. And you created us to merit our progress. May we have the strength to understand the challenges in our lives. And may we renew ourselves. In the therapy of your love, in the presence of the spirit doctors, nurses, and therapists here present. May the spirit educators find in us the openness to new beginnings, to deep renewal, to deep transformations. May everyone in our lives feel this invitation to calm and kindness. Feeling our togetherness with you. We thank you for allowing us to be here, to learn, to love, and to serve. And so be it. Okay. So, what's the most important thing in life besides God? Is our relationships. Yes, so today, here and there with our children, teens, we will meditate on how we can strengthen our relationships. Our relationships are the most important thing in our lives. I know we go to school. I love school. I'm a nerd, I love books. But between that and our family members, friends, that is more important. I'm not talking about partying, I'm talking about loving. So we're going to talk about beneficence here. A new view with beneficence in our minds and inside. Today we start a new series inside. It's all about friendship skills. We're back to school. We needed to learn friendship skills to really give greater quality to our lives at school, at home, being friends of our siblings. If there is one thing that we spiritists should strive, is to love our siblings. When people tell, oh, but my brothers, my sisters, I have 4 brothers. I know. But there's no reason to annoy them, to avenge them, anything. Because what we're doing to our siblings today, we'll do with our co-workers tomorrow. Our lives will be miserable. Friendship skills start at home. And it just continues at school, as easy as that. So today, Carol, Felipe, and I will go with you inside, and Miss Daisy will lead us into another moment of polishing our relationships with the adults. Okay, friends? We hope you enjoy, and we'll see you later for the class. Oh, today, exceptionally today, for the lessons inside, we need cell phones. So if you have a cell phone, bring it in. The older kids, not the youngest 4 to 8, just the older ones from 9 and up. Bring your phones. If you don't have your phone, you can bring your parents' phone if they want to allow it, because you need it for the activity. Okay? Thank you.
You know what you mean big? Respect. Yeah, let's see. Like 3 plus 4. There is rules. 3 plus, listen to me. There is rules. You have to follow. Okay? Oh, you think you
Friends, good morning. We know we wanna, if we wish, we wanna be inside because we wanna learn with them. As Vanessa mentioned, the lessons inside are so precious. What they are learning, if we rewind, go back to our childhood, preteen, teen years, if we have had a chance. Some of us did grow up in spiritist families, but majority of us didn't. And these lessons, literally one lesson can change their lives forever. But we're here, we're also learning about these deep relationships. And today, we're gonna bring this part, we're gonna go deeper in the gospel according to Spiritism. I pick up the book so we can see it. Because we look at these books and we're afraid, right? They're big, and we're like, oh, it's so deep. But these are guidelines for our lives. Jesus came to show us the pathway. If we don't read, if we don't study, here we are learning together. I'm also learning as we go through this, but if we don't go home and study, there's no way we're going to practice. So go there later, go to the chapter, read, reflect. It's beautiful because as in these items on chapter 13 that we'll see tonight, well, tomorrow, not tonight, but we will see spirits coming and telling different perspectives about beneficency. So what is beneficence? A big word, right? We don't use this word in our daily lives, but we've heard it before. We're very familiar with it. So let us go first to the definition. What is beneficency? In the dictionary, it says it's doing the good, is active goodness, kindness, charity. Okay, we know about those words, right? Charity, goodness, kindness to others. But then we might read this chapter and be like, oh, I know about it. Yeah, we have to be nice to one another. But today we are invited, the mentors are inviting us to go deeper. Let us take this veil of our eyes and let us be true to ourselves. Are we truly practicing charity and beneficence in our lives as Jesus came to teach us? We'll go deeper. We'll bring examples in our daily lives to help us think through this. But the first thing we need to do, because most people, when we talk about charity, they think about, oh yeah, I help the homeless. I help this organization, that organization. But what is the true meaning of charity? So, thanks to Kardec, we have the answer right here. Do this book. 1,019 questions. We are certain that all the questions that we have are answered in this book. And Kardec is so wonderful that he brings to us in a Q&A format that is so easy to digest. The answers, as we're going to see for this question, is very short. So sometimes we're there. We talk about electronics, right? A few weeks ago. We're bored. Maybe we're waiting in a doctor's office or we're waiting in line. Whatever we're doing, open up in our phones. We have our phones for so many things. Go. It's on Kindle. Go there. Read one question at random. Right there, that's how we truly start taking those things from our eyes so we can truly see life as it is. Not this life that society sells to us, but the truth, the real life. So, very short answer, but Kardec asked these high spirits, what is the true meaning of the word charity? Has Jesus understood it and brought to us? Is it giving food to the homeless? Is it helping? Well, part of it's helping. But there are three parts. First one, benevolence towards everyone. Right there, we could stop here and reflect on this a lot. Let us ask ourselves, are we truly benevolent and kind towards everyone? So it's not only my family, my partner, my children, my co-workers, but how about the person that comes in our lives and know exactly the buttons to push inside of ourselves? Are we kind to them? Do we open the news and we are outrageous nowadays with the news, right? Acts of violence. We're not saying that's not going to be laws in place, but we're going to look at those people with benevolence, saying, people don't know what they are doing. Because if they only knew what would come later, they would rethink 1,000 times. As the message said that Felipe read for us, let us recognize that the shortcomings of others and their infirmities, in this case, not their external infirmities, but their soul, it could be ours. So it could be us. So are we kinder to those that have a certain socioeconomic status? Or I am nice with that co-worker because they know the boss. They're going to put a good word for me. But the other co-worker that is just there, my subordinate, I push them aside. Yeah, I'm okay. Oh, but the other one, if they call me, I answer right away. I answer their email right away. Others, they can wait. That's not what Jesus came. Jesus said, benevolence towards everyone. And we saw that, right? People would come. The rich, the poor, the sick, the healthy, and Jesus would talk with everyone. So today is an opportunity for us to go deeper. And if we do those things, why are we doing? Why we think that we need to be kind, charitable with some, but not others? Oh, Daisy, you don't know who they are. They don't deserve it. Well, let us remember, God sees everything, knows everything. God gave us everything the same sun. He doesn't say, I'm going to assign the sun brighter on this person and not on this person. I'm going to give oxygen to this person, but not on this person. So who are we? Do we think we're so above others? That is the true question for us. The second part, it doesn't stop there. It says, we need to be indulgent towards the imperfection of others. You see, it comes harder and harder, right? To see the imperfection of others. In the Spirit's book, if we go to the third part, we can read about the 10 divine laws. The last one of them, the law of justice, love, and charity, where this question is, there Kardec brings to us the definition of justice. And that is so striking, because it says justice is when we respect the rights of others. So others have free will. They can choose. Who are we? Of course, if their actions is creating a problem to others, right? We're going to interfere in. But in their lives, they can choose. So it's to look at the imperfection of others as we have our imperfections. Why do we want people to be so understanding of us and our imperfections if we want others to be perfect? So is that truly understanding that we are learning, we are in this journey, people are in their journey. But if we don't practice this indulgence, which is to add the sweetness to our relationships, as we're talking with the children inside, we will be alone, right? Because we know everyone have their own imperfections, as we also have many imperfections. But we want people to tolerate us, but we don't tolerate others. And then the last part is forgiveness of offenses. That is probably the hardest one to forgive. Forgive is to re-signify that moment. Could people say, but Days, this forgiveness, are we going to forget what happened? Well, it's to look at the situation as the Spiritist teachings brings to us through a different lenses. If we look at that one, let's say, action or that one situation that happened with only the eyes of today, yes, it would be very hard to explain it. But thanks to Spiritism, we have lens 360 around, saying, remember, you're not a victim. There are previous lives. Nothing is by chance. If that person is doing that to us, there is a reason why. But they also have their imperfections. They are not alone. They have their obsessors. We have our obsessors. So we look at the situation through a different eyes. We're not going to justify it, but we're going to understand. But what is the problem is that we hold grudges. And sometimes this forgiveness is for something so petty and small. Oh, that person, they never look at me. They never talk to me. Okay, hold on. Who we think we are, that we're so important that everything needs to stop because of us. So is it because of them or because of us? So if we combine benevolence with indulgence and forgiveness, that's the trio that we need. Great, we don't see anything here that says we need to have $1 million, right? We need to donate houses and we need to build hospitals and we need to save the world. Wonderful. We can all practice, but beneficence starts and has in the message that Felipe read for us inside. It's nothing externally. It starts with our thoughts and feelings. So we're gonna bring 3 different types of charity so that we can start applying to our lives. Starting first in our family. We're not gonna be able to practice charity with strangers if we don't practice within our closest circles. So let us give an example. We wake up, we go to work, we have a very stressful day, meetings, everything's going wrong at work, things are chaotic. At the end of the day, we're tired, burn out, but then we get home. And we get home and we think, oh, this is the place I can relax. This is me time. But we get home and we have a spouse, a partner, we have children, we have pets, and they need our attention. But what do? Do we say, we push them aside and say, yeah, go to your room, go do your homework. And then we snap with the partner. And then we want to sit down in the couch, relax, and not be disturbed. But the family's there. So do we see how we have things reversed? Because what is the priority? Spiritism comes and says, the family is the first school. The first school for ourselves. So more important than our works, the more important than the social events, more important than anything else. But we cannot get home and look at the person's eyes and talk to them and ask how they went and truly listen to them. To sit down with the children and go through their homework. Oh, but they already know what they're doing. But do we know what they're learning at school? How we want our children to love school if we don't put school center stage and we don't have them sit in the dining room table or in their desk and say, let us go through. Are you having a hard time? Why is everything completed but this problem is empty? Oh, the teacher said we don't need to do it. We do as much as we can. Okay, let us talk about it. Why? Is there a problem here? That's the most precious sign that all the work meetings that we had and all the problems. Because we know if we disappear today, tomorrow they're gonna have a substitute for us at work, for sure, right? But how about the family? How about the precious time that we lost that we could have sat down with our children? But we get home and we want to be served. Dinner's ready, the house is clean. Do we know how did that all happen? It didn't magically happen throughout the day. There's someone there that's cleaning, that is cooking. Or if we get there and the spouse is already cooking, we join in, we help. Oh, but I already did my share at work. Okay, so let us rethink again, because we're spiritists, right? How are we gonna help the homeless if we're not helping inside our own families? So the mentors are calling us for a wake-up call. Wake-up call in our homes. Let us shift. If we need to, let us rearrange the whole family dynamic. Let us sit down. People don't sit down anymore to have a meal. One goes to the room, others watching TV, right? And then that family moments, so important. Maybe on Thanksgiving, maybe at Christmas. But why not? Why not put down the table and sit, no electronics, and ask about the day? Oh, but we don't have time. Okay, let us make time because this is the most important time. We have time for everything else, right? If whoever is the celebrity we love the most, would call us and say, Daisy, I'm coming to your house. Oh, we would make time, right? We would put out the table, we'll clean everything. But why do we do that for others and we do them for those close to us? Prepare them a nice meal. But what happens? We are waiting for that. We want to do something, but wait for the return. So we want to be seen, we want to be appreciated. It's human. But then we're doing things expecting something in return. So then it's already not charity. Because as we will see at the end, if we do something waiting for something in return, it's not valid. So Emmanuel says in this book that is titled Families, he says, the consanguineous family is the cultivation of the soul's light, within which only those who put patience, and we know we need a lot of patience, and renunciation, and goodwill will triumph. Each one of us, we have a reincarnatory plan. And there it says, this will be our parents. Most often than not, we already know who we will encounter, who will be our children. And right there it says, let us work on that family. It's the most important, as Vanessa said, the most important mission for parents is to lead that child to God. We can do everything else in our reincarnatory plan. We can be successful at work. We can be on the eyes of society perfect. We have the car, we have the house, the vacation, everything is great. But if that one line that we think is so small in our reincarnatory plan, which is to truly love our family, we can help as many people outside our homes. We're going to get in the spiritual realm and we have failed. So let us switch our paradigm. Let us truly appreciate our family. But it's hard, we know. In the book Laws of Love by Emmanuel explains to us who is the tyrant parent, who is the spouse that cheats, the spouse who is disoriented, the son who is rebellious, or the daughter who is rebellious. It explains to us in previous lives, we cultivate in that heart the selfishness. We were maybe married to that person, but we pushed that person to the abyss by cheating ourselves, by truly only thinking of ourselves. We taught that child that today is our child to only think about the material things. And now they come and we need to reverse. And that's why it's so hard. But let us remember, nothing is by chance. If God entrusted that family to us, it's because he said, you have the resources to succeed. Let us remember, there's no reincarnatory plan in the spiritual realm that is made without a line to succeed. Everything is planned with real chances to succeed. God, Jesus did not came and it was already predestined that Judas would betray him. It was not written in Judas' reincarnatory plan, you're going to betray Jesus. No. However, he has free will. He made his choice, as we all do. But the plan is to succeed. So everything is in place. But we need to do our part. So charity starts in the closest circles in our family. Okay, now let's go to the other opposite. The charity that we also always think about. Giving, donation, giving our material resources. Okay, let us then ask ourselves. We live in an area in the United States. I don't know the percentage, but I think if we look at the percentage of wealth where we are, it's probably single digits or less than single digits percent around the world. We're in a place where it's very prosperous, financially speaking. Great. God invented money, but for what? So, the second part of our reflection today is to ask ourselves, what is the necessary and what is the superfluous? So, when we go home today, let us do an exercise. Let us go to our closets, open our closets, and ask ourselves, do I need, I'm gonna ask myself the same question too. Do I need? Do we all need? We have one body, but we have how many coats? How many pants? How many shoes, right? Our children. So interesting, right? They want that toy, they ask for that toy, right? They do everything and then they get the toy and maybe they play for it. For what? Sometimes. And then when you look, you say, you're not gonna play with that toy? They're like, oh no. And they're ready to the next and the next. And then you go to their rooms and so many games and toys and that while in a few miles from here, there is a shelter with families that have zero toys. So is that the necessary or the superfluous? We live in a country that garages are not garages anymore. Because everything that we don't know where to put it, it's in the garage. Oh, what is this? Let's put in the garage. Let's put in the garage or the shed or whatever it is, right? The storage unit. Oh my gosh, the storage. So, why is this important? Everything that we own, we create a link. Is an attachment. The spiritual link. Everything. So if we discarnate today, is it going to be easy for us to detach all this? But then sometimes it's not the big things, it's the little things. Sometimes a piece of paper. People are, no, but this piece of paper, I'm going to hold for it. I'm going to pass to my children. Friends, are we going to need this piece of paper in the spiritual life? No, definitely not, right? But we're so attached. And then we open the closet and we see that clothes and we're like, oh no, but I'm going to save it because I want to feed on those pens. Why are you saving it? If there are people that could use the pair of pens today. Oh, but no, I'm going to feed on that. Well, donate it. When when you lose weight, we couldn't buy new pairs. Why do you want to keep the old ones that didn't serve a purpose? That pants didn't help us. If not, we would be wearing them. So let us pass it on. So this detachment, let us not wait for spring cleaning, summer cleaning. Let us open our garage, our storage units. A rule of thumb, if we haven't used something for a whole year, probably we're not going to use it. Oh, but I will save it for our children. Do we truly think that our children, when they grow up, they're going to use it? Come on. Imagine in 5, 10 years from now, the wonderful things, they're not going to want that. So it's an exercise, friends. Because we live in an area that is very superfluous. Very superfluous. In the Spirit's book, Kardec, in Question and Answer 809, says the attachment to material things is a notorious indication of our impurity. Because the more we are attached to the things of the world, the less we understand our true destiny. So the more attached we are to our things, the less we are truly seeing our destiny, which is His Spirit. And it's so beautiful, right? If you think about life, we come into this world, and I read this somewhere. We come into this world naked, right? Have you guys seen that? And we leave, and we don't take anything with us. Jesus came. He didn't have a home. We can imagine, right? Jesus, he probably had one pair of shoes, barely, right? Because at that time, it's barely sandals. Probably a tunic. We're not saying that we're gonna become miserables. No, yes, we have to dress a certain way at work. Great. But we're talking here about the superfluous, that we all have it. That for us seems so simple. It's just a piece of paper. But for the neighbor next door, this piece of paper will change their lives. So imagine, is the good that we're being left undone that we could help that person with this piece of paper? They will see it and they will be mesmerized. They'll say, thank you so much. So let us stop holding to the petty things. Because then we're not going to be able to progress. In the book, it's called in Portuguese, Roteiro de Jesus. In English, it's in Kardec Radio's 90 Nights with the Promised Consoler. It's Roadmap with Jesus. Then, in a beautiful account, do you know that parable of the temple that Jesus there with the disciples and people are bringing donations, and then he sees the widow coming, and she comes and has a widow at that time. You were seen in the society by your husband, right? So when women became widows, they didn't really have a place in the society. They could not work at the time. So it was a very difficult. And she came and gave 2 coins. And the parable that we know that's in the Bible stops there when Jesus says, the one that gave the most from everyone else was that widow with the 2 coins, which was all she had to feed her children. That's what she gave. But in that book, they continue the story because the story doesn't stop there. Everyone leaves. This just stays Jesus and the disciples still talking. And then someone comes into the room, very humble, a slave woman, and she starts cleaning the temple. You know, like when everyone leaves, and that person comes and starts cleaning very quietly. And then Jesus turns to the disciples and says, but do you know what? Who actually gave the most today? It was not even the widow. It's that woman there that she's giving her sweat and her tears to clean the temple. So when we give, is to truly give of ourselves, of our time, of our sweat. It's not of the material things that we have. It's not that money or that purse or that piece of clothing that for us, they are actually doing us a favor. But it's to truly give of what we have the most. That is one day the true charity on earth, as we will understand it. And the last example for us today is this charity through faith and courage. Why faith and courage? Well, we're going to encounter difficult companions in the family, at work, in our friendships, in our circles. We'll find those people that is very hard for us to cultivate those relationships. This is inevitable. All of us, we all have those persons in our lives. But the true charity is to have faith, knowing that God is taking care of everything, understanding that there is not by chance that we encounter that person. But we have the courage to, instead of pushing that relationship away, saying, okay, I am gonna work in this difficult companions. I'm gonna understand it. That is the true charity. It's through our relationship, friends. We can give as much as we want. We can be kind, but Jesus said, let us love our enemies, which is the hardest part. But it's what we were called, and that's why we are here. So in this beautiful book, United Hands, that Vanessa is reading in the morning prayers, a chapter this week said, we need the courage of faith, which will only be realized in us and by us when we have the necessary courage to understand all men, even our most feared persecutors, as our true brothers and children of God. If we don't learn how to have this love and understanding, but we need courage, we need faith. Those who come into our lives, that is truly difficult. Doesn't mean that we're gonna be BFFs, right? We're gonna sit down and have a party and enjoy, but we're gonna understand them that they have their shortcomings. As we talked at the beginning, their imperfections, we have the same. But this is the most difficult type of charity. Those that hurt us, to look at them with a compassion. Why are we saying this? Every week, friends, in the mediumistic meetings, we see what happens in the spiritual realm with those that hold grudges, with those that have a hard time forgiving. We think that, oh, I'm not gonna work on this relationship because it's hard. Guess what? Those are, that will be the most close link off when we discard it. Now it's easier because we have a physical body. We might not be physically present in the same room. But when that person discarnates, or when we discarnate, then there's no physical boundaries anymore. And we see every week the disasters that happen in our lives, because of those difficult relationships of the past that now is influence our relationships here. And how we gonna truly free ourselves from those obsessed or quote unquote obsessors? Because one life we are obsessed, the other right? We think we're the victim, the other we are the persecutor. So we are not victims. They are there. They're keeping a close watch on all of us. When they see that we change, that we're practicing this true charity, that's when they're gonna say, okay, enough is enough. Like with Divaldo Franco, right? We all know the story of the spirit who persecuted him day in and day out for decades. It was not until one evening a baby's dropped off at his doorsteps and they were completely full. There was no room for one more child. And Divaldo opened the doors and picked up that baby who's very deformed. And the spirit appears and asks him, what are you going to do? Do you truly love this child? And Virtue who said, not yet, but I will learn. Everyone is welcome here. And that point, the spirit says, okay, Divaldo, enough is enough. Now I see you change because this spirit was my mother in a previous life. Then he backed off. But you see, it's not going to the homeless once, it's not forgiving once, it's every day, in and out, in and out. Because they're there, they're keeping a close watch on us. So friends, today, there's a checklist. I love checklists. So we'll have this checklist together because I'll have this checklist for myself. Let us give without expecting anything in return. We don't expect appreciation, to be seen, to be thanked for. We don't have a hidden agenda. We just give. We are charitable to everyone without any reasons why. Not because they have money, the power, resources, not because we give because we want to have that line in our curriculum. We don't help this family member because they're going to do something to us but not others. We help everyone. But we truly give, not physically, materially speaking. We give of ourselves. We give of our time, which we think is so precious. When people call and we are in the middle of something, but they need something from us. This is truly give when we stop everything else and we say, okay, I will help you. I will talk to you. I will listen to you. We give as that woman in the table, her sweat, our talents. We have so many talents, friends, but we are holding it. The spirit center is here. We come in this last place. It's clean. Everything is organized. We come, we receive, we leave. We come, we receive, and we leave. While we have so many talents to give, and there's so much work behind the scenes that needs help, but we know how to use technology. We know how to make things more efficient. We have so many talents, but we're keeping it to ourselves. At work, we feel what is in the job description. Oh, but if that That line, oh, that is not in my job description. I'm not gonna do it. That's not giving of ourselves. It's when we go beyond the call of duty, when we give our hearts and our souls. Why? Most important, it's not what we do, but how we do it. We can give, again, just a piece of paper, but if we just give, but if we truly give with our hearts, it can be something so small, maybe a hug to someone. Seems so small, but in that hug, in that smile, in looking at that child eyes and sitting down and asking about their day, it matters more than anything else because it's not what we do, checking the list, but how. Is to be kind and benevolent and not judging. Let us take the judgment part away. God doesn't judge us. Why are we going to judge others? But what do? The person come in the line in the park and we look at them and we say, oh, I don't think they really need it. We give, but we are judging them inside. Again, it didn't count. So let us remove that judgment piece. And let us have courage and faith to understand, forgive people as we all ask for forgiveness, for understanding of others, because we commit mistakes. We're not perfect. And as Jesus said, let us do to others what we like to receive. If we could summarize it, all that we talked about today is this. If we truly, on earth, do to others what we like to receive, all the ills and difficulties of our planet will go away because we give to others exactly what we like to receive. So today, Jesus is truly passing by. He's coming and saying, let us love one another and let us do to others what we like them to do to us. If we make this the theme of our lives and teach this to our children, this is the recipe. We can teach them everything. We can learn everything. We can be, in quote unquote, in the eyes of the world, great family members, so kind, great co-workers. Yes, we think we're doing so great. But if we're not practicing this truly giving of what we like to receive, and guess what? There's no one who is gonna know about this. As the message said at the beginning, it's an intimate journey. This beneficence is internally. Externally, people can seem so great and wonderful, and we're like applauding them. But today we're talking about this beneficence that no one sees, only ourselves, because it's between us and God. But when we discarnate, friends, nothing else is gonna matter. It's not gonna matter the car that we have, the job that we have, the title, the amount in the bank account, the clothes, anything. But it's truly gonna matter, as Vanessa said in the beginning, is the relationships that we cultivated, the friends that we met, the difficult companions that we truly worked on. That's all that's gonna matter. Everything else truly passes. But the love for one another is what stays and what we take with us to the spiritual realm. So let us reflect on this as we prepare for our classes.
this one, I do this one. Sorry. So let us prepare ourselves, everyone, incarnates and discarnates, be invited to the presence of the messengers of Master Jesus, the doctor of all of our souls. Let us visualize His loving smile, His loving embrace, enveloping us in strength and renewal. Let us help one another by visualizing the team of spirit doctors coordinated by our beloved Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, helping each one of us achieve new strengths and profound renewal. Let us feel their healing hands helping us. Let us visualize rays of healing light falling upon us, enveloping us in great strength. As we breathe in and out the healing molecules that are given to us, we feel the revitalization of our minds and bodies in greater harmony with God. Let us look at the beautiful picture of Jesus and feel inspired by his strength, his courage, his power of love and kindness. Let us feel that the rays of his heart are entering ours, strengthening us, protecting us. Okay, almost practicing helping one another. Let us visualize Jesus in front of us. He is our best friend, and he is sharing his power of love with us. Let us receive it dearly into our hearts and join forces with him in sharing love. It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna dry out. Don't worry. Good job. Good job. There you go. There you go.
Thought we were all done.
Let us then express our deepest gratitude, visualizing Jesus, our best friend, enveloping us in his sweet invitation to profound transformation in our lives. Let us feel it and surrender to his loving care. So let us all now prepare ourselves for the final prayer, expressing our gratitude for this wonderful therapeutic educational session. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus and loving spirits who care for each one of us so dearly. We pray that those who are not able loving care. May everyone on earth feel the invitation to greater love and kindness. We raise our thoughts in praise for your wonderful universe, our home with infinite possibilities of growth. May we never give up on life, knowing that the hardships we experience today are temporary, that only love lasts forever. Thank you, God, and so be it. Wonderful friends. There. So, Miss Daisy has announced.
Let me share so that people mind can see it too. Great. So some quick announcements. Uh, Next week, we are wrapping up the drive as we talked today about reaching out and helping others. We are wrapping up next week the school drive. So we're welcome any art supply, writing supplies, binder folders, anything, ideally new or in very good condition. Although we're in Northern Virginia, we'll be surprised at the schools that we have in our area and the kids that are in need. So this is very helpful. We already did some donations last week to a Title I school in Herndon, and we're gonna gather all the donations and donate it probably to another school in the area that is also in need. So bring your items by next Sunday. On Saturday, October 5th, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, we're going to do our flash course on the Gospel According to Spiritism. It's based on this book, The Gospel 101. If you would like to come, we need you to register and sign up. In the back, you see there's a beautiful board now in the back before you leave. You can add your name right under the flyer, The Gospel 101. If you're watching us online, would like to participate, let us know. In that day, exceptionally, the homeroom service in DC will be at 3 p.m. so that everyone can be here in the morning, and those that would like to volunteer can volunteer in the afternoon. As always, we're always looking for volunteers to help us. We are downtown in Washington every Saturday. There's also a sign-up free sheet at the end before you go. You sign up to whatever you want to bring, and you look forward to be there. If you have never been in DC and you want to come talk to me, then I can give you the instructions, and there's a form that you need to sign. And last but not least, if you have any questions, you don't want to say it here in the public, or if you want to talk to one of us, come let us know. We're here. We're in no rush to go home. You can do the fraternal counseling, and you have an opportunity. We want you to feel embraced. So if you have anything that's troubling you, don't go home. Talk to us before you leave. Okay? Hope you have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next week.